Jansen Junk, the latest guest here on Side Session, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. I was thinking Jansen Junk, that has to be the perfect pitcher name. I was thinking like secondary career, maybe garbage man for Junk, but I feel like you are named to be a pitcher. Let's start there, man. Jansen Junk, what a name.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of stuff growing up about it, but, I've heard it all. But being in this industry, it's like I get a lot of compliments rather than like negative compliments or negative sayings. So it's like people think it's really cool, and when I meet them and hear my name for the first time. So, yeah.
There are a couple others that jump out to me, like Colin Holderman is a great name for an eighth inning guy. It's amazing. Aaron Bummer, not so much. Taiwan Walker, Walker Buehler. Like, that's not awesome for that, but Jansen Junk works. Real quick, non-baseball. When did you commit to being a mustache guy? Because it's a striking thing.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of people will toy with a full beard look, clean shaven, but you've gone with the stash. I think I saw you with one in Anaheim and Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when was this? 2021. That's when the mustache came to be. I actually got COVID. The team had me like stay back for 2 weeks or something, so I was just in my hotel room, like just growing out my beard. And, when I got cleared and everything, I was like shaving, coming back to the field, and I was like, I kind of want to like play around. And so I did stash, called my wife on FaceTime, and I was like, hey, check this out. What do you think? And she was like, oh, I actually really like it.
Let's go.
And then I was like, all right. Like, I was just seeing what it was going to look like.
Feeling it out.
Yeah. And then I went to the field, tried to get like the vibe, see if people liked it. And they're like, dude, nice stash. And I was like, all right, like,
commit to it.
Might have something.
Yeah. And then, I haven't I've shaved it off like every now and then just to like, clean slate. But yeah, that's the origin story of the stash.
We need to tell our friends back at Lone Depot, we do a Jansen Junction mustache night where we can all wear the mustache. I think that'd be Joe Mauer had the sideburns they would do. I think Jansen Junk mustache night would be great.
It'd be perfect. Now, can I say I tried the same thing with my girlfriend, and she was like, get that off your face right now. It's terrible. And my mom said the same thing. So like when you get those two no's, it immediately wipes it all out.
Yes. Yeah. If she said no, I probably would have shaved it off. But luckily she liked it.
Here we are now, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's rewind here because your ascension has been really impressive here with the Miami Marlins. Signed on a minor league deal. We've seen you pitch a couple of times out of the bullpen. You make a start. You're pitching to a 2.6 ERA in a pretty healthy amount of innings. But you were a guy that was throwing 84, 86 miles per hour in high school. You did the weighted ball stuff. You do the drive line. But let's start here in high school. How did Jansen Junk go from 84 miles per hour to now you're going to start here in the next couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long story in between that. But I would say, it was like in high school, it was more about just enjoying the game. That was probably junior year, sophomore year of high school. And I didn't have too many, I didn't have any looks from colleges. I was just going out there with my guys, my best friends, and playing. And, through that process, one of my buddies was training at this facility with Kyle Bodie at the time before it was Driveline. And he was like, hey, I got this guru. Come on down. And, sorry, hold on. I got to take off.
You're good. And Kyle Bodie, who is now the head of Driveline, which is kind of crazy. What'd you have for lunch? Is it coming back up? And by the way, let me fix the microphone because it's bothering me that it's not. That's my fault. There you go. Okay. It was kind of hanging off like a side
I think we're good. Okay, so where was I? Bodie, yeah. So he's like, come on down. I got this guy, this weighted program. I saw him, my friend, starting to throw hard. He was like low 90s or whatever. And I was like, okay. So that's where I got introduced to the weighted ball program. Did that for, I think, a summer. Came in to my senior year throwing first time I hit 90. So, and even that, I didn't have any college offers or anything. I was going to these camps, doing all that jazz, and went to University of Washington camp. They said I wasn't good enough.
How old are you at this? This is your senior year in high school?
senior year.
Okay.
And you know, you hear a lot of stories. Like probably most guys around the league, they have offers from all the schools in the country, and they get to choose. That really wasn't my case. But I kept working and went to these showcases, and finally, you know, one of our playoff games, Seattle U recruiting coordinator came on to look at my friend that put me on to Kyle Bodie, and ended up seeing me throw out the same day. And he was like, oh, I kind of like this kid. And, you know, we talked, blah, blah, blah. It was late in the recruiting season, so he was like, hey, we don't have money to give you a scholarship right now, so can you walk on and then, you know, prove yourself, and we'll give you an opportunity to get a scholarship. And it was either between Washington State or Seattle U. And I ended up, through the process of getting to know Elliot Kirby, the recruiting and pitching coach at the time, I really liked his message and believed in what he had for the program, and ended up going that route. And, you know, through that process, keep working. You know, we had a really good recruiting class at that time. You know, Scooble was there. You know, some other guys that were really talented and got drafted. You know, we just pushed each other so hard to get better. And through that process, you know, I just kept getting better and better. And, you know, getting drafted by the Yankees in 2017, and just keep on focusing. Like, people ask me, like, oh, like, when did it, like, click? When did you start, like, you know, being, like, good at baseball or whatever? Sure. But I think, like, there's no precise answer for that. Right. I think it's more about, it's pretty, like, you know, cliche, but it's just like every day I put in the work, and it's just kind of adding up. And it's been a long process, and that's how it is for a lot of people. It's just like, you know, they want, especially now's culture, it's like they want success right away, instant gratification. And my story is more like a slow burn, and just like, you know, keep grinding. And through that process, you know, my talent, my skill set has improved.
So quick follow-up on the first part, because you mentioned you kept going to these showcases. You hit 90 your senior year of high school. Were you always a strike thrower? Like, did you know where 90 was going at that time? Because you know where 95 is going now.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think so. Okay. I can't really remember. I think in high school, yes, it was fine. You know, those zones are so big. Right. So when you're younger, it's a little bit easier to get away. But once I got into pro ball, those zones started tying up a little bit. You know, you got to execute a little bit better. Everybody's getting better. You know, in high school, it's like a whole group of players, you know, guys that aren't going to go to the next level, guys that are. And then when you're in pro ball, everybody's there for the same reason. So, yeah, I think the early days of my professional career, yeah, like I think I had a few too many walks, stuff like that. And I think the biggest thing for me is just like in my catch play, taking that more serious, really focusing on, you know, my locations, where I'm throwing it on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's helped over the years. Quieting down my mechanics a little bit helped. And I think it's just like having the confidence of throwing it in zone and not worrying about the result also helps with that mindset.
I got one more thing on your Seattle U days, because a lot of people will go on Baseball Reference and say, who's this Jansen Dunk pitching for the Miami Marlins? And they see Seattle University, and that may click for some, and say, well, that's where Scooble went. Like, okay, he was teammates with Scooble. How about that? That had to be an awesome environment. Jansen Junk, Tarek Scooble on the same college baseball team. Based on what you've said, it probably didn't click for either of you guys that it was an iron sharpens iron type of thing, right? You guys were going to be tracking to the big leagues. Did you have any idea that you and a college teammate, and I've seen the photos of him, like it was long hair, he was a lanky guy. He wasn't a unit by any means at Seattle U. Did it click for either of you that you could be meeting up at some point in the major leagues?
No, not back in those days. No, we weren't worrying about that. I mean, I know I wasn't. I knew, like, watching Skubal throw, I knew he had the skill set to be what he is today. Sure. And seeing his work ethic, I knew he had what it took to, be an elite starting pitcher or wherever he was going to end up. But, yeah, during those days, it was just like we were so competitive on a day-to-day basis between ourselves and then when we go out there against the other teams. So it was really just like that mentality, that mindset that our pitching coach really instilled through the whole staff, helped the drive of that class.
When you signed with the Marlins, what were some of the conversations? Why was this the right location, even to start in like the minor leagues at this point in your career?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was the staff. Coming in, I had some offers to other places, but this one and the opportunity that arose, I know so many people on the staff, just like.
Name drop for us for the Driveline guys. It's like Driveline you.
I know. Like Daniel Moskos, he was my trainer at Driveline before he got the Yankee job. And then he was my AA pitching coach in 21. And that was my best year of minor league baseball, and which helped me ascend to getting traded to the Angels and make my debut that year. I was in 2019, it was probably my worst minor league year in high A, and then going into 2020, having a full year of training really helped with Moskos's guidance. We were talking on weekly basis of how to get better, and then going into that season doing the same thing, and his guidance really helped. And then Brandon Mann, the bullpen coach, he was my trainer at Driveline 2 years ago before he came on. So having him, and then Bill, I never worked with him specifically until I came here, but he was around. I know him. It's easy to talk to him, and I think the biggest thing was just the fluid communication. I knew what they were about. They knew what I was about, and just I know how to communicate with them, and know how to ask about how do I get better, what should I do here, and little things like that.
Communication is clear.
Yeah, it's clear, it's transparent. I know how to talk to them. I know how they speak and what they're kind of thinking about, how their brains click. So I think that's the biggest thing. And then just opportunity, I knew there was great opportunity coming here. And Little Nugget, it was my first little league team. I would play for the Marlins. So my dad was like, "Oh, this is so cool," blah blah blah. He sent me photos of me a little Marlin uniform and stuff.
No, was it the teal? Was it
yeah,
the teal?
It was
Florida
the teal.
Marlins? Okay,
Yes,
cool.
yes, yeah. So it was just the whole opportunity. It was just perfect timing. So yeah.
So can I ask you, what makes Daniel Moskos so good at what he does? What makes him a very good major league pitching coach?
He's just a smart guy. He knows how to work with guys. I think the biggest thing, he's able to translate that to a player that might not know, the ins and outs of, more analytical stuff. He's able to translate that into a more, player-friendly dialogue. I think that's great. And then I think just the way he is as a person, his personality, his drive is, easy to get behind and know that he's got your back. I think those are the best things about him. Yeah.
What's Jansen Junk like off the field?
Off the field, I'm just a chill guy. I mean, I'm
You like the meme with the
yeah. No, it's I love to golf. I love the outdoors. Just being from the Pacific Northwest, I love going fly fishing.
Yeah.
I just love being in the mountains, exploring. I'm a huge coffee guy. Every single place I go to, I try to find coffee shops.
Sure.
I'm a big coffee connoisseur, so But yeah, and then it's me, my wife, and then we have 2 cats at our place. Yeah.
Cat guy.
Yeah, I've been kind of adopted into the cat life.
Okay.
I wasn't one until I met my wife, and then yeah, I started liking them, and yeah, we just we like to go on trips around, the States and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty regular life, but I really enjoy the outdoors.
Okay, you're such a nice guy, and when I look at guys like Sandy on their start day, and maybe I have to look at you on your start day, like if I feel like if I go near Sandy, he might throw me across the room.
Yeah.
You seem like such an even keel guy. Do you go to the place of no one go near me on the mound? Do you get to us, or are you just so even keel? How do you get to that confidence level?
Yeah, I think there's a fine line. Definitely there's a little bit more intensity on those start days. Just getting in that mindset. But I don't mind if someone comes up to me or whatever. I don't need to no one needs to talk to me. Don't speak to me today. I'm not that type of guy. I like to keep it loose, but still have that focus and intensity. And then, yeah, I would say once I'm across those lines, that's where it kind of amps up a little bit. I'm a little bit more serious. And it's more of that killer instinct once I go onto the mound. But I think the biggest thing, like you said, is being even keel, because you can't ride,
Did you do that at one point in your career?
Yeah, I think we all do, of riding the highs and lows, just based on results. And through that process, it's not healthy for this game. It's such a game of failure and long-term game that you can't be riding that roller coaster. So as I try to keep even keel as much as possible, just that steady state of, having those, celebrating the victories, and then when those struggles come or failures, and learning from them, bouncing back and not letting it hang on you for too long.
I got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Starter, reliever, do you care?
No, I don't care. Yeah, I do. Enjoy starting just to have my schedule. I like having that fluid schedule throughout the week, and then knowing I'm going to throw on this day and then do it again next week. But I do love the bullpen, just the thrill of being out there every single day, and that phone going off, and then everybody's head whips around, and it's who's going to be next, and then the adrenaline spike you get when you hear your name called, it's something special. And it's especially our group we have down there is so good. They keep it light. We focus when time is needed. It's just a great group of guys to be with down there. And the starters is great, but whatever to do to make the team, successful, I'm willing to do.
It was awesome because you're really good at both. We have a live audience for this one right now. I'm looking at former All-Star closer AJ Ramos right now, and he said when the bullpen phone rang, it was anxiety, and you said adrenaline. So I like adrenaline a little bit more than anxiety.
Yeah,
stress went through the roof.
It's probably a little bit of both.
Okay. Last one from me is a dorky question.
Yeah.
Steven's favorite thing is hand turn, right? Pronation, supination. You're a supinator.
Yes.
You throw the occasional change up to lefties. When did you realize that your hand was going to turn one way and you were going to be really good at that?
And the soup is this way.
You're holding a bowl of soup.
Supination
is breaking balls, and then pronation is change ups and splitters.
Well, the crazy story, which I believe to be true, in college, I actually broke my wrist in the weight room doing a hang clean. And I think it never healed correctly. So it was kind of gave me, it's fine to laugh because it's kind of made me who I am now. And I have never been able to pronate as good as I once did back then. So it was allowed me to get on the side of the ball and throw my sliders a little bit better. And my fastball has a little cut to it. And I think it really clicked probably 4 years ago or something. Probably that 2021 season with Mosquez. He was like, dude, your slider's really good. He's like, you're a supinator. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I'll throw this more, and then had a lot of success with that. But the thing is, it's like getting to this level, it's like now I need a change up. Like I would love to have a change up. And I tried to throw splitter for like 2 years. And I got smaller hands, so it's very hard for me to like consistently like get that shape that I wanted. And then finally this off season, I went back to the changeup, and it's like a special kick change. I'm sure like people have seen the hype about it, and that's kind of what I throw now. It's like I'm not pronating through it like a lot of our guys do with their nasty changeups. So I'm using a little different leverage from the ball to create that shape.
I think I got one more for you. Just an overall question here. We're, believe it or not, halfway through the season. What does a successful rest of the year look like for you personally and for a team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just like remaining healthy, giving it my all every single time I go out there. I like numbers obviously, will fluctuate in either way, good or bad. But I think as long as I, give my best every single time I get out there, and throughout the week, just like putting in the work to be that player that I want to be, I think at the end I can look back at whatever happens and be happy with it. And then for the team, it's like similar line, like let's just go out every single day, play hard, give it our all, put in the work, before games, throughout the week to, prepare ourselves, for that game for the day. And, not really look at, wins or losses or anything, but just go out there and give it our best, and whatever happens, and, do that together. I think that's the biggest thing, doing it as a team. And when guys, buy into that to support each other, and have each other's backs, I think that's where a team can really excel once, the collective group buys in to one philosophy.
Our next push next week, Jansen Junk mustache. I can't stop looking. It's so good.
Thank
you so much for
Thank
your time.
you guys.
We appreciate it. Keep healthy and keep pitching, man. It's been awesome to watch it.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
that was
it.
Jansen Junk Side Session. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. We'll talk to you next week.